Welcome to my audit lab. This is Hamza. Today's organizations are juggling a lot: digital transformation, regulatory shifts, economic volatility, evolving customer expectations, etc. And somewhere in that whirlwind, every assurance function is trying to do its part to assess and manage risk. Instead of clarity, we end up with confusion. Legal is saying one thing, audit another. ERM has its own matrix, and the compliance team is off building its own universe. All well-meaning efforts, but they can easily exhaust employees, miss key risks, or create redundant mitigations. But here's the catch. The more we silo our risk assessments, the more fragmented our view of risk becomes. This episode is about solving that problem with integrated risk assessments. Not just a buzzword, but a necessary evolution in how we manage risk as a team sport. Let's unpack the problem a bit. Most companies have several assurance functions: ERM, internal audit, compliance, legal, privacy, information security, each running its own assessments. Sounds thorough, right? But in reality, this creates assurance fatigue among employees asked the same questions 5 times, redundancies in mitigation efforts that waste time and resources, and worst of all, gaps in risk coverage where no one's really owning the risk. It's like assembling a puzzle with 5 people, each working on a different section with different pictures in mind. An integrated risk assessment model brings all these efforts together. It creates common risk language across functions so everyone's speaking the same dialect, unified risk rating scales to help boards actually compare and prioritize risks, aligned assurance calendars to reduce the business burden and streamline interviews, and ideally, joint assessments where functions collaborate from the outset to share insights and reduce duplication. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about better decision making and more accurate risk intelligence. Now, what's in it for each function? Integrating assessments only works when you bring the right players to the table and speak their language. Let's quickly explore what each stakeholder cares about. ERM loves the big picture. They're your ALI for developing shared frameworks and universal risk language, and a common risk universe. Audit has deep organizational access. Their granular understanding of controls makes them perfect to lead or support standardized risk assessment criteria. Compliance sees transparency as gold. Integrating reduces duplication and strengthens their voice at the board. Information security brings technical risk depth. They often advise on digital risk universes and provide key data inputs. Legal holds board visibility across functions. They may not lead assessments, but their insight into regulatory risk is essential. Privacy is often under-resourced. They benefit greatly from integrated models that let them extend their reach without overburdening their teams. And don't forget the business. When business leaders see fewer interviews, smarter questions, and clearer understanding of what's being asked of them, they're far more engaged and provide better insights. Before integration, we map our assurance footprint to align key elements. Audit teams at Kimberly started by creating an assurance map. They rated how well various risks were covered by different functions and adjusted their approach to close gaps and reduce overlaps. At Gamma Company, they built a shared governance issues repository. This let them track ownership, severity, and actions across different departments for a truly enterprise-level view. UBS and Airservices Australia both created universal rating criteria, allowing ERM and Audit to compare apples with apples, even for non-financial risks. National Grid used a shared assurance calendar to space out activities and reduce interview burnout. TIAA Financial Services developed a model where Audit, ERM, and compliance jointly interviewed the business and then allocated follow-up assessments based on who's best suited to take the lead. Now, in this era where risks are increasingly interconnected and organizations need an integrated lens, it doesn't create internal efficiency, it supports resilience, foresight, and unified governance. It's also a way to shift the culture of assurance from fragmented gatekeeping to collaborative problem solving. Yes, it takes effort. Yes, it takes alignment. But the payoff is a boardroom with fewer contradictions, a business with fewer distractions, and an assurance function that actually functions. If your organization hasn't started this journey yet, now is the time. Start small, map what's already happening, build the relationships, find the common language, and then coordinate your assurance. And remember, coordination is about collaboration, not control, because the best view of risk is the one that we build together. Stay sharp and carry on auditing.